Do you struggle with an acne problem that has been plaguing you for years? I know how it feels bro. Back in high school when I was 14, a huge acne outbreak hit me like a slap in the face. Prior to that, I had relatively quite clear skin. Then all of a sudden, pimples just started popping up everywhere on my face. It eventually got worse and worse. I remember being so frustrated. The damage the pimples had done to me weren't actually physical damage, but the psychological damage was astronomical. I became so bothered by my pimple that I had lost all sorts of confidence that I had in my looks. Eventually, I fell into a deep rabbit hole of self-loathing due to this change in perspective of myself. I even had purposely used all different sorts of image editing software to retouch my face and remove the pimples. The huge problem here was I had researched every single article about curing acne which I could get my hands on, and I had tried every single treatment that was available to me at the time. However, I still could not see any sort of tangible progress even with this treatment. I remember at the time I also had facial cleansing appointment every week which hurt like hell because I had my pimple squeezed out every week. This nightmarish period would last me for more than a year, which caused me unimaginable levels of suffering. It wasn't until this one day where I came across an article about facial hygiene, which I decided to just take a brief look because at this point I had read around at least a few thousand of them and none of them worked for me. So as I was looking through the article, what I noticed was there was a really interesting tip that caught my eye. It wrote, use a different towel for your face and body. Now, this was not something I had expected to come across in the article because all the previous articles that I came across were basically low-key promotions of the new and latest boogie woogie product which would help me clear my acne overnight. To be honest with you, I had my initial doubts about whether this tip was going to work. I was like, there's no way something this simple is gonna work, right? After all, if these high-tech skincare products will not work at this level, I mean, something as simple and basic at this level will not work, right? Nevertheless, I was so desperate, so I just gave it a try. Cause it didn't matter how stupid it sounded to me at the time, but after all, never try, never know. When I first started using an additional towel, at first it felt quite a bit weird because it felt like I was giving myself an extra burden to hang and dry 2 towels instead of 1. It eventually developed into a sort of habit, but unfortunately there were still no changes. My pimples were still growing at an alarming rate, and honestly speaking, there was nothing I could do to stop this outbreak. But fast forward a few months later, did I finally notice some sort of difference in my face. Basically, my pimples were no longer growing every day and most of it had subsided somehow. It was the first time in about 1.5 years which I could see parts of my face without red bumps all over it. As things were looking up, I was even more motivated to continue the practice of using separate towels. Despite it being more troublesome in a way, I thought, no way, this could be working and maybe I wasn't doomed to have this acne problem forever. As more months passed by, I finally had the opportunity to feel what it was like to have totally clear skin on my face for the past 2 years. Albeit still having some pimple scars, which can be honestly unavoidable sometimes. To come to think of it, I believe the reason this strategy worked so well to clear my acne problem is because when we only use one single towel to wipe both our face and body, what happens is when we wipe our body, our dead skin and bacteria get transferred onto the towel, and then when we wipe our face, the dead skin and bacteria from our towel get transferred to on our face, which clogs our pores and therefore causing outbreaks. On the other hand, once we separate towel, the likelihood of the bacteria transferring to our face is dramatically reduced. Maybe many of you may be asking, if this is really such an effective strategy, then why the hell is it not publicized more in the media? I strongly believe the reason for this is because this tip wouldn't really be lucrative to publicize. I mean, think about it. Which tip would be more profitable to publicize? One, the latest skincare product which promises to clear your acne overnight for only $9.99, or just simply asking you to use a separate towel for your body and your face, which is totally free for you to do it yourself. Now, I really want to make a really important disclaimer here, alright? What I'm suggesting is not to never use any sort of skincare product. In fact, I strongly suggest everyone to at least use a facial cleanser to clean your face of excess oil, sweat and dirt, which may contribute to your clogging of your pores. What I'm simply suggesting is that more skincare product does not necessarily equal better skin. I understand maybe some of you may still be hesitating on whether this strategy will be effective for you, like I did 3 years ago. But really there's nothing to lose trying out anyway. To summarize, what I did to clear my acne was first use a basic facial cleanser when I took a shower. I mean, you can pick any facial cleanser which works for you best, and this one you have to try it out yourself. And most importantly, use a separate towel for your body and your face. I really hope this strategy works out for you, and make sure to let me know if it does, because I'll be extremely glad, because I understand how it felt to get finally cured of this acne problem. If you like this video, make sure to click the like button and smash the subscribe button if you want to watch more from this more self-development and fitness YouTuber. See ya in the next one.